Hello there. I heard an interesting story this week about a young man at the University of Pennsylvania in the US who was on the swimming team, on the girls' swimming team. It seems that he wants to be a woman, and so he's now swimming on the ladies' swimming team. And the interesting thing about it is that he showers in the ladies' showers, and because he's still attracted to women, he walks around with a raging hard-on. I thought this was quite interesting. It shows the what Gurdjieff called the two-system zoostat, or the person who has two completely independent consciousnesses, or two independent functionings inside of him, which are everything above the neck and everything below the neck. I thought it was quite interesting because it demonstrated Gurdjieff's ideas quite clearly, because from the neck down, that man is still a normal man, meaning his functions still function quite well. I mean, he sees a woman and he gets a hard on because he's normal, and that part of him is normal and reliable and is therefore his real self. But above the neck, which is where the personality is formed and where he's educated by society and so on, that is in trouble. That is now in complete conflict with his real self. That has become the false self, the false personality, the ego. And the way that is done today is, for instance, in America there is this popularizer of science, and his name is Neil deGrasse Tyson, and he's been hired by various institutions to popularize science, in the same way as in the UK a man called Richard Dawkins was hired by Oxford University to popularize science. In other words, to sell university places, to increase the prestige of the university so they can charge more for education, and the universities are now very expensive. And these popularizers of science are in charge of getting people excited. You hear like Boris Johnson and the government talk about getting people excited, getting young people excited. Which is, of course, wrong work, because when you get people excited about science, you are mixing in emotional or even sexual energy into the mental process. So instead of thinking objectively about things with your mental function becomes entwined with your sexual energy because you're excited, or your emotional energy. And this creates a very disrupting situation in your mental process that Gurdjieff would call the wrong work of centers. And a lot of his work, especially at the beginning, is about, first of all, respecting the purity and clarity of your mental functions and all your functions, and stripping away the wrong work, so that when you think, the thinking is alone. It just thinks on its own. When you feel, the feeling is alone. It's not doctored. It's not adulterated with sugary feelings or sexed up, you see. And the sexing up that is in the culture today causes young people like this man to have a head that is at war with the real self. A head that has a false personality, that is a slave to society and does not really represent that person anymore, that person that that young man should have become